Hello and welcome to Channels Book Club. I'm Olakunle Kasumu. Our guest today is a performance coach, women in leadership advocate, speaker, and human resource leader with over 17 years multicultural experience across Africa, Europe, India, Middle East, and the USA. She's the author of 18 books, which include her latest titled Uplift Your Productivity. That's an amazing number of books for anyone to have written. Mofoluwaso Ilevbare is popularly called Fofo. She joins us today on Channels Book Club to discuss her latest book and her life as a writer. Enjoy this. Fofo, nice to have you on Channels Book Club. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Kule. Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. You've written 18 books.
Yes.
How does anybody write 18 books?
Well, it's an interesting question, but I think it all starts with a why. What I tell people who want to write is to figure out why they want to write, because that's where the passion would come from. I stumbled on book writing about 3 years ago when I was taking care of things around the house, and I found so many business cards that I had gathered over networking events. And as I threw away some into the bin, I realized that that's how someone was throwing away
your own cards,
my own cards as well. So I said, okay, what could I give people that could last beyond a business card when I go for a speaking engagement or I'm facilitating a workshop or coaching? I said, okay, why don't I just take the same content and put it in form of a book so I can give that away at the end of the conference. That way they remember the things. And that's how I started. I went on Facebook and I said, I'm going to write 10 books that year for every speaking engagement. And it started in January. Before I knew it, I wrote 10 books year one. I added another 6 year two, and so far I have 18.
So you've written these 18 books in 3 years?
Yes, I have.
It's amazing. Okay, no wonder you are very qualified to write this subject, uplift your productivity.
Yes.
I mean, you've got to be really productive. You are really productive to have written 18 books in 3 years.
Well, I try, because when you think about it, time waits for no one. And being a working mom who has a 9 to 5 and also has 2 kids, 12 and 5, I've got a husband, I travel a lot. There must be some level of productivity in my life.
It's amazing. I don't know.
To be able to do
it's
this.
amazing to be a mother, to be a wife, to be a professional and still do those not. I know people who have not written one in 18 years. For the past 18 years, they've been talking about writing one small book.
Very true.
And they never got to writing it.
Very true.
So how, I mean, in practical terms, tell
Yes.
me,
Yes.
how has it worked for you in terms of writing?
Yes.
Do you do that when you're waiting for a plane, when you're in a car? How does it work? You don't sleep only 3 hours a night?
Oh,
Tell
no.
me.
I have to make sure I have at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep. But one of the things I teach when I teach people how to write is first understand the why. When we understand why you want to write, then we check your schedule. What kind of programs do you have outlined? And then we try to we zigzag your life. And what that means is we just follow you around for a couple of days and we try to identify where the time wasters are in your life. Because we all have those times when we're not super productive. Then we check your energy levels. Those are things I share in the book. How can I do my most productive work during my most productive time of the day? Some of us are night owls. Some of us are sunflowers. Some of us are early birds. Which one are you? And then we tailor those things into those aspects. So it's about getting the most productive part of you and getting the work done in that time period. And then you have the rest of the time to relax, rest, and spend time with family.
Interesting. Now, this is your latest book, Uplift Your Productivity.
Yes.
Productivity is a big challenge, isn't it?
Absolutely.
One of the things you kept pointing out in this book is how time can just fly by and you are not productive. You've not really done much with your life. Let's do a general overview of this.
Okay. So I believe that productivity is an important part because as long as we're human beings and the clock does not stop ticking, we need to find a way to see how can I achieve more in less time, or at least achieve what matters most. Spend my time doing the things that matter most. So some of the things in the book is how can I elevate my productivity? And there are different aspects of life that you can look at. The first is really in your mornings. Mornings are so important. Now, while some of us are night owls and some of us are early birds, morning is still an important part of the day. How can I prepare for my today, yesterday, in such a way that I start today a bit more intentionally and I get the best out of it? How can I make my weekends work for me? How can I make my energy levels? How can I do the most productive thing at the time when I feel like doing it? And at the same time, how can I maximize my space? One thing I found out with productivity is the more cluttered you are, the less organized you are.
The more cluttered you are,
yes,
the less organized you are.
Yes. So one of the things I teach in this book is how can I declutter my mornings? How can I declutter my space? How can I declutter my mind? How can I declutter the time I spend on social media so that I'm doing the most productive pieces that really matter at the end of the day?
This may be a question with an obvious answer, but I would like you to talk about it. Who is productive? Who is not productive?
It's an interesting question because it has different answers to it. But if I give a simple one, a productive person is someone who is able to accomplish what matters most at that time T. What matters most at that time T. So for example, if you're meant to be at home, spending time with family, and you're using that time to be on your laptop, in a sense, you may say you're productive, but you're not doing what you need to do at that time.
Even though you're home.
Even though you're home.
You're on Facebook or Twitter.
Exactly. Because while you're home, your kids want 100% attention, your wife or husband want 100%, and you're not there.
And this happens to a lot of us, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. But then it causes a lot of migraine if you check, because on one hand, you're at work, you're thinking about things you want to do outside of work. Then you're at home, you're thinking of the things you want to do at work. How can you maximize the time in the season you're in or in the space you're in, such that you give your best during that time? And then when you move into another domain, you also give your best during that time. These are some of the strategies I teach
here. And then you said here that, okay, I marked a few things that you wrote here, but let me read quickly. You said maybe this is because time management as understood and discussed these days is overrated. Now, the background to this is you spoke about how people have been involved in time management for many years.
Yes.
And yet it hasn't helped much.
Absolutely.
Talk to me a bit about that.
Because if you go Google up the word productivity, you will find 1,001 books that have been written. But we're all still battling with it. So what is the essence? What is the thing about it? I believe that there is no magic formula. And there's no one size fits all. Kole, your own productivity is different from mine. And the schedule you will have will be different from mine. The key thing is to understand the season of life you're in. What are the things that matter most to you? Where are your time wasters? And how can we maximize the time you have? And it will be something that we've tailored to you. So for you, maybe schedules work for you. For some other people, it's more graphics that work for them. For some other people, it's apps that work for them. So we figure out what works for you in the season of life you're in. What is it you're trying to accomplish?
As long as you're productive.
As long as you're productive.
You spent a lot of space here.
Yes.
Tackling the issue of time wasters.
Yes.
Talk to me about time wasters. Time wasters are very, very terrible.
Oh my goodness. And they're all around us.
and from what you've written here, time wasters are life wasters.
Yes.
Because you said here your time is your life.
Yes.
Talk to me a bit about
that. And the thing
that.
about it is, it's very easy for us to make more money. It's very easy for us to make new friends. But it's not easy to gain time. Because what happened yesterday has passed.
It's gone forever.
It's gone forever. What we're doing right now, time is passing. And the only thing we have is today and then preparing for tomorrow. So when we talk about time wasters, it's important to understand what are the time wasters in my life. For some people, it's the friends you're keeping. They're not adding any value to you. Friends that they just take away from you. When you have a friend who every time you share a dream with, that dream just withers away. You need to check, is this really a multiplier of time to me? Is it adding value to me? For some of us, it's social media. You know how it is. It's all in our face.
That's a dangerous
one email pings up, or that Instagram photo comes in. While you're looking at that, another Insta story has shown up. Another Facebook video has come up. Before you know it, you spent a lot of your time doing that. For some of us, it's Owambez. Owambez, the amount of time you spend every Saturday on Owambe. You want to write a book, there's certain sacrifices you need to make. You can't attend every Owambe. You can't say, I want to do everything I want to do and still write a book, or I still spend time with family. Those are things that I share inside the book. So if you understand how expensive time is, you will think about how you actually spend your time.
One last question before we round up here. If time is so important, and we all say time is important, why do we waste so much time? I'm very curious about that. If time is so important, and we all claim it is, how come time goes, time runs away? Why do we waste so much time?
I will tie it back to vision and your why. Why do we do the things we do? It could be that I want some pleasure out of it. It could be that it's helping me to accomplish something. There will be many distractions and interruptions around us that take away our time or make us spend the time. But what drives how you spend your time is really your vision. If you wake up in the morning and you say, today I want to do X, Y, Z, whether you like it or not, it will guide how you spend your time. You probably will spend more productive hours committing yourself to that vision you set for yourself than if you came out with a blank check. Oh, it's another morning, another Monday. Let's just see how life goes, whatever will be, will be. If we have that kind of mentality, you can't maximize the time that you have. So it's important. What is my vision? Where do I see myself 1 week from now, 1 year from now? What are the things I want to accomplish? And how can I leverage within the time I have to do that and still sleep 6 to 7 hours?
6 to 7 hours.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us on Channels Book Club.
It's been an honor being here.
Well
Thank
done.
you, Kule.
Nice to have you here.
All right.
Thank you.
In life, I've realized that there are many time wasters that rid us of doing the best that we can do of our lives. And one of the things I've done is to put in this book nice strategies that can help you to be better at what you do, to help you achieve more in less time, and especially achieve the most important things in your life. Now, I'll be reading from chapter 1. And this chapter is talking about mindset resets that we need to go through in order to optimize our life. What I found out is that the mind is the battleground. And if you can understand the value of time and be able to reprogram your mind to some things that you've believed, it would help you to be more productive. So come along with me. Mindset reset number 1. Time is life. Do you often catch yourself saying, if only I had more time? Where did the time go? I never have enough time to do anything. Every now and then, when my 9-year-old sees adults doing what he defines as cool stuff, like skydiving, extreme car racing, bungee jumping, he grumples and says, why is it that only adults get to do some of this cool stuff? I wish time could pass so quickly so I could wake up tomorrow and do the things myself. How do you think about time? How you think about time really matters. Someone will say today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. The question is, are you going to make it meaningful? You will always only have 24 hours in a day, at least as long as the earth remains. And at least 6 to 7 hours of that is ideally needed for a good night's sleep, leaving you with 17 to 18 hours per day. The moment you begin to realize that your time is your life, how you view time changes. When you waste time, you waste more than the seconds or the minutes. You actually waste life.
It's the Channels Book Club's Literature Prize Season 4. This year, the winners get a sponsored trip to one of the world's most exciting book events, the 2019 BusherCon Convention, taking place at Dallas, Texas, United States of America. If you're a senior secondary school student in any Nigerian school, get a copy of the novel titled Pelican of the Wilderness by Jacqueline Agwe. Read it, write an essay to review the book, and submit it to Channels Television on or before June the 30th, 2019. For all required information, visit our website or call the numbers on your screen.